Good morning. No. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Welcome. Thank you for joining me here on this live stream today. So it is Sunday, the 26th of May, and it's the bank holiday weekend. So I thought I would do a bit of a garden update and a bit of a chit chat, because the last time I did that, I think it was last Sunday, I got a lot of positive feedback, people saying how helpful they found the muse and just my thoughts, my ramblings. So I thought, it's the bank holiday, I'm having a really relaxed, carefree day, totally unstructured. So I thought I would just take you around my garden because there has been progress. So I love gardens. And good afternoon, Horatio. Great to have you with me today. I hope you're well. So I love gardens. As you can see, I love my garden. And I have been catching up on the Chelsea Flower Show. And it's always been my dream to go one year to the flower show, the greatest flower show in the world. But I've not actually made it. But I will make it. And watching it the past couple of days on TV, it's one of the few things that I do watch on TV. I've just felt really, really inspired. So I thought I would take you around the garden and share with you just a few things that I've learnt from watching the garden show, the Chelsea Flower Show, that I can apply to my own collection of plants. As you can see, it's vast. It goes around the corner, around the side of the house as well. I will show, well, I say vast, it's not vast, it's vast for me, it's vast for me, but it's in, for some people it's nothing, but it's vast for me. So I thought I'd share with you some things that I've learned just watching the flower show, things that I've learned that's going to help me in my own garden, but also on my health and weight loss journey. So I'm going to step out of the house and bring you to this collection of plants here. And all of this is, excuse Betsy. Betsy, you're on camera, my darling. I just dipped the camera. Excuse that. So she still hasn't had her kittens yet. So I'm expecting them this week. But this is my collection of houseplants. And one of the things that I learned was watching the Chelsea Flower Show is how important it is to keep your leaves clean. Something that I've completely neglected, I will be totally honest. When I was growing up, my mother had, I've developed my love of houseplants and gardening from my mother. And one of the jobs that my mother used to give me and my brothers and sisters when we were younger was, like, once a month, every couple of weeks, we'd have to get the baby bio and we'd have to clean the leaves of the plants with a little bit of cotton wool, and we'd have to get some, like, tepid water and wipe the leaves, just give them a gentle wipe, and then we'd get the baby bio and we'd smear it all over again with cotton buds, and it would, cotton wool, and it would make the leaves beautiful and shiny. And since I've had my small collection of houseplants, I've not done that. I've not done that. And that's what probably why you can see, like on this rubber plant, it's looking worse for wear. It really is. And this one, it's looking worse for wear. So they're not the healthiest. And watching the Chelsea Flower Show this year, they've had a big spotlight on houseplants. And there was a section there, and I was reminded just how important it is to clean the leaves, because it helps with photosynthesis. And the other thing they said, which was really important, which is why they're outside now, is it's really important to bring them outside every now and again. Leave them out for, couple of hours, preferably a couple of days, so that they can get the air, they can oxygenate, they can get the sunshine, and then of course to give them a really good feed. So that's why I've put this little collection of my houseplant. Now this is an aloe, and honestly it's worse for wear. And I've got another aloe there at the back, and they're not looking great. So that's why I've put these outside to let the rain just wash them and cleanse them. And then I'm going to repot most of them, and then give the leaves all a good clean. Hopefully when we get some rain it'll just wash them, but then I'm going to give them a wipe and also polish them with baby bio. So yeah, so that's the one thing that I've learned from the flower show already. Look at that, it's not good, it's not good. So I have neglected my indoor plants, to be fair, I really have. So the Chelsea Flower Show was just a really good reminder that I need to care for them a bit more. So that's why they're out there. The other thing that I've learned about from watching the flower show is, there's Betsy. Betsy, say hello to the people. Betsy. Ah, there she is. She's a snow leopard lynx Bengal, very rare. It's beautiful, beautiful. And you could see she's got a little patch just there, and that's where she was shaved because she's pregnant, and I had a pregnancy scanned. So we know that we should be expecting kittens next week. So the other thing that I wanted to share with you in my garden is, the last time I brought you out into my garden, I'd explained that in here, at the time I showed you, which was about 2 weeks ago, there was a big gap right down the middle there, and these hostas were just coming up. And I said to you, it looks really sparse, but the reason I've not planted anything like in this area was because this hosta, they spread out, and you can see now that is exactly what's happened. Look how beautiful they are. They're not fully spread yet. When they're fully spread out, well, you could see these are two separate plants, and they're covering each other, but they'll just spread out and fill all of this soil here. And my lavenders are also coming up really nicely. I was looking at this garden this morning, and what I am going to do, I'm going to buy another lavender and just have it here, and also another 2 lavenders to put here and here. I do like having lavender on the path, because then when I walk past and you brush against it, you get the most amazing beautiful fragrance. So yeah, 2 more lavenders I need to put there. I also just wanted to show you my peonies. When I showed you my peonies, they were just tiny buds like this, and now they're getting ready to bloom. Look at that. And this peony bush, now I got this from my mother's garden. When my mother passed away, she loved her garden, and I didn't want to leave her plants because there was the risk that nobody would look after them. So I dug them up, and this was one that I brought with me. And look at this. This is opening already. Look at that. It's a peony rose. Absolutely beautiful. And in maybe in a week, this whole bush is going to be absolutely blooming with flower heads like this. Absolute peonies are one of my absolute favourite plants. Absolutely beautiful. So I'll bring you out and show you again when this is in full bloom. It's absolutely beautiful. And here comes Benji. Hello, Benji. So yeah, there we go. And then excuse the hose, but I had a tree, and the tree had died in this pot. So I showed you that I'd bought these what they're called, the name's on the tip of my tongue. Oh, it's on the tip of my tongue. But I planted it. I did buy two. So I've planted this one, and then these busy lizzies and the petunias I've planted around the base. So they're starting to flower now. And here are some of the petunias that I planted. I showed you when I bought these the other week, and I said that Richard Jackson had said on QVC to always pinch out those early bulbs like these. When you buy them, just pinch out these early buds, and then what happens is the plant puts all its energy into creating these beautiful blooms, and that's what's happened. Absolutely happened. So yeah, you know, that was a really good tip from Richard Jackson. I've got another lavender here. Just as I came here, I could smell this lavender. It's absolutely beautiful. I've got new nails, guys. Had them done yesterday. So I've got this lovely orange. Yeah, a bit bright, but it's all good. This is my lemon tree. I showed you that before. And my lemons are still producing. And they're getting ready to be completely ripe. So yeah, not long on those. And this is my blackberry, and the blackberry puts out these beautiful little flowers. You can see here these gorgeous flowers, and then when the flowers are spent, it then turns into the blackberry. So there's some more of the petunias. These are all ones my grandson planted this pot, so I need to take a photo to show him. There's my mint. When I showed you last time, it was really tiny, and you could see it's growing really, you know, it's doing really well. The thing with mint is mint will overtake everything. It really will. And you can see how much it's grown in just maybe 2 weeks. So they say the key with mint is, if you want it to take over, just plant it in the soil. But if you don't want it to take over, then plant it in a pot, which is what I've done. But you could also plant the pot in the soil as well, so the roots are contained to the pot. So I've got, look at the size of these leaves, huge leaves. So this is great for making mint tea. Yeah, sometimes I will just pluck a couple of leaves, crush them, and just pour boiling hot water on it, and I've got mint tea. And these are some of my herbs as well. That's oregano or oregano. This is coming up really lovely. What I do, smells beautiful. What I do with that is, when it grows and it gets really bushy, I cut it and I chop it up, and then I just leave it out to dry, and then you get dried oregano. So me being inspired by Chelsea, loving my plants, picked a few more up yesterday. So this one is lobelia. Again, these beautiful little purple flowers. I've got marigolds, and this one is salvia. So I'm gonna when I was in the shop, I was like, oh, I'm gonna plant these in my pots where I've got little gaps. But when I come home and I looked at my pots, I was like, there's no gaps, there's no gaps. So because I was thinking of like something like this, but there's no gaps because these petunias, isn't it gorgeous, absolutely beautiful, have really grown. And let me just show you, this is the geranium paniculata that I showed you the other day. Again, it was just coming up and it's already getting really bushy. And this is my other petunia pot. Let me just show you my rose tree. Look at that colour on the rose, absolutely stunning, beautiful. I'm thinking of getting another rose to go, which I'm going to plant down here, and I'm going to trail it right across here and also to mate this one, this tree as well. Because when I sit in the house and look, it all of this area is bare, so I want something to fill the back of that. So yeah, I'm going to plant another rose tree there, I think. So when I was watching the Chelsea Flower Show, there's just, and you know me, I love like finding the synergy between, you know, life and nature. I'm just coming over here. I'm going to have a seat. I've got my tea here. This is my shed. It needs painting, but I like to sit underneath here. Needs a paint. So when I was watching the flower show, they were talking about nature and how in nature we take time to nurture. Yeah, we take time to nurture our plants. And one of the segments was so fascinating. It was about a business that started up with the view of supporting women who had been in prison. And the founder got the concept because she'd done some work in prisons, and she realised that when the women leave the prisons, there's not a lot going for them because, you know, they find it hard to re-engage in the community. They find it hard to get another job. You know, life can be difficult, and what tends to happen is it's not uncommon for people to re-offend. So what she and a business partner did, they've started this business like a charity whereby when prison leavers, the women leave the prison, they can join their business, and they teach them the skills of just simple gardening. Yeah, how to pot up just a couple of plants, and the idea is to get them engaged in something, to get their hands in the soil, to develop an interest in something. And one of the key things she said, which I thought was so interesting, was that many of these women have lost, you know, the concept of nurture. Yeah, because they've, you know, committed some crimes, they've been in prison, and they've lost the concept of nurture. And nature being in nature has helped them to nurture, which I thought was just so fascinating. So fascinating. And that just made me think about the weight loss journey, that how important it is for us to nurture ourselves. And this lady went on to say, she was a co-founder, and she said that when these women prison leavers go to them and they start working with them, they understand the value and the importance of nurturing. Yeah, how to nurture a plant, maybe from a seedling or from a plug plant. They understand how important it is, that it's not just about planting it, but it's about feeding it and watering it, giving it the sunlight, finding out whether it likes shade or full sun or partial shade. It's about understanding all of those things and then nurturing. When you understand what the plant needs and require, then it's about nurturing that plant, taking care of it every single day, giving it what it needs to help it thrive, to help it to grow, to help it to really be strong and healthy. And interestingly, she said that every person, every woman that they've taken under their wing and supported has never re-offended again, which I thought was just phenomenal. They've never re-offended. And she said she thinks that's because these women are learning the importance of nurture. They're learning the importance of nurture, how important it is to nurture something, a plant, to feed it, to water it, to care for it, to put it in the right environment. And me being a novice gardener, understand that, totally understand that. When you invest in your plants, you want to see it grow, you want to see it thrive. And likewise, it made me think about my own weight loss journey. And it made me think that, you know, for a long time on my journey, I was just focused on food. I was just thinking about food. What food should I eat to lose weight? What food should I avoid to get the best results? And it was only after some time on my journey that I started to understand, actually, if I'm going to be successful on my weight loss journey, it has to be more than that. It has to be more than just what I'm eating and what I'm drinking. It has to, because I am so much more than that. Just getting my tea. I'm so much more than what I eat and what I drink. I am what I think. I am what I feel. I am what my mindset is. I'm all of those things. So it made me thinking about today, it made me think about, am I nurturing every part of me? Do we nurture ourselves. And how can we do that? How do we nurture our bodies, our soul, our mind? How do we do that? And like my houseplants just here, yes, they get the basics. They've had water. They have light. But that's not enough. And that's why some of them are looking worse. Well, all of them, let's be honest, are looking worse for wear. Every single one of them are looking worse for wear. Even though they've had the basics, they've had the water, maybe not enough water, let's be honest. They've had sunlight, and some of them, my rubber plant has been behind the curtain, so it's not had the best sunlight. So they get water, they get sunlight. They don't get a lot of food, a lot of nutrients and minerals, but they do get the basics. But yet they're not in the best condition. And it made me think, what about us? Are we just giving our bodies the basic? We're just giving ourselves on the weight loss journey the absolute minimum. Are we just thinking about what we put in our bodies? Because like these plants, they've had the minimum. They've had the minimum. A plant to grow needs water and light. That's the bare minimum that they need to grow. And it made me think, for many years on my journey, that's all I did. And my results, I was getting results, but it wasn't the best results. Because one week it would be weight loss and the next week it would be weight gain or staying the same. It wasn't the best results. But then when I compare that to some of my plants, like my hostas just here, my lavenders are doing really well, and my peonies that I've just showed you, when I compare those, they're outside and they're getting the basics, they're getting light and they're getting water, but these are being nurtured because I'm giving them food. When I come out to water them, I put a plant feed in there, so they're getting nurtured. I'll also come out and I'll, as you saw me, I'll just touch them and I'm able to pick off any dead leaves. And they, you know, there's a whole thing about talking to your plants, you know, and well, I'm not going to tell you what I do because you'll officially call me a mad woman, but but I nurture my plants outside, and they produce fantastic results. And I was telling you the last time about a plant that looked dead, and it wasn't dead, and I just nurtured it and it came back. So likewise, and like my camellia, look, all of this is new growth. It's new growth on this because it's been nurtured. It's been nurtured. So it just made me stop and think, and I do want to show you this as well. Last time I showed you my lemon tree, I also said I've got an orange tree as well. I'll just show you, this is my citrus plant. It's a cardamom, and again, it's thriving. These are new leaves. You could see, always tell the new growth, because the leaves are always softer and a lot lighter, whereas something like this is an older leaf, it's thicker, yeah, and darker. So this is growing, it's thriving. And last summer it put out some beautiful little cardamom citrus fruits, and you can absolutely eat them. And I got a few and I put them in some water and just let the juice seep through into the water. They look like mini tangerines. That's what they look like. Mini tangerines or satsumas, just really tiny ones. But yeah, guys, are we nurturing ourselves? Are we thinking more than just what we eat? Because what we eat is the basics, and it will give us results. It will give us results, but we need to think more than that. We need to think about, are we nurturing our bodies? Are we taking care of ourselves? Are we getting the sleep that we need? Are we getting the rest that our body needs? Do we have interests and hobbies that we can get involved in? So it takes us away from constantly thinking about the weight loss journey, which can be very frustrating. Do we have interests, hobbies that keep our mind young, that keeps us focused on things of interest, that help to enrich us? Back in the day, it used to be called enrichment programs. We have things that enrich our lives? Do you have interests that take us out of the house, away from the everyday monotony? Do we have friends that we can socialise with? It's bank holiday at the moment. Do we have friends we can call upon, that we can have a chat with, or we can meet up with, that we can, share a meal with? That's all part of nourishing our bodies. Do we have areas that we can go just for a gentle, quiet walk, so that we can have that downtime? That's enrichment as well. So, like with the plants, we need more than just the basics. We need more than just light and water. We need so much more. We need to nurture ourselves. And I just want to show you this. This is my bearded iris. See another variety here. I normally have the purple bearded iris, but I planted these last year. These are yellow ones, and they're absolutely beautiful. Beautiful bearded iris, absolutely gorgeous. So yeah, how we nurturing ourselves. And I'm going to just show you a plant here. So this plant here, this is my is azalea. It's an azalea. I always get this mixed up with the rhododendron, which is next to it, but this is my azalea. And last Sunday I was talking about being planted. When we're not seeing the results, are we planted? And I also said that sometimes when we're in a pot can be limiting. We can still grow, we can still develop, we can still get nurtured, but it can be limiting. Our success can be limited. And it's the reason I say this is because this is my azalea plant, and you can just see it's just putting out one little bud, one flower. And when I bought it, I gave my son and my daughter-in-law one. So I bought two. I've kept one for myself, and I gave them the other one. And they planted there's in the ground. And I went over yesterday and I was just absolutely blown away. Their azalea is literally twice the size of mine in this pot, and it is absolutely filled with massive, massive blooms. Different results because they've been planted in different areas. And I just wanted to show that as an example, because last week I was saying that, you know, sometimes a plan, a program, a system that we do can still get us results, but it can restrict us, it can limit us. And that was my experience when I was doing the Weight Watchers plan. It helped to shape me, it gave me some great tips, it got me off really well on my journey, but after a while it limited me. It limited my knowledge, it limited my ability. And just like this azalea plant, it's still growing and it's still producing, but nowhere near as much as my son's, which is twice the size and absolutely filled, absolutely blooming. So yeah, you know, and I'll just show you again. This is one of my hydrangeas that I planted last year. It's beautiful chocolate colour. And I'll just show you another one. This is one that I planted 2 years ago. Cordyline, that's it. Couldn't remember the name. That's the cordyline. And that is the cordyline that is planted here. It's a cordyline. So this I've had for 2 years and it's huge, it's really big. But I've got one at the front of the house in a pot that I've planted at exactly the same time, and the one in the pot is I looked at it today. One of the days I'll take you around the front and I'll show you, but it is literally not even half the size. It's about a quarter of the size of this, and that's because this is planted in the soil and it's free to spread and to grow and develop. So guys, there you go, that's my muses. That's my plant feeder that I bought. It started to rain, so I'm gonna sign off now. I'm gonna get into the house because I don't want to get wet. But yeah, that's my Sunday muse. I hope you found that interesting, and if you did, leave me a comment. And I think that's one of the baby daddies. I think that is Betsy's baby dad. Yeah, we'll see what the kittens look like, but since Betsy's been pregnant, he's been hanging around. Anyway guys, it's absolutely tipping it down now. I'm gonna get inside, but I will be back soon. So for now, enjoy your bank holiday. And if you're not subscribed, please feel free to hit that subscribe button, but also click the notification bell, because as and when I upload a new video, you will be notified. Okay guys, have a lovely day, and I will see you very soon. Take care now. Bye.